So, word on the street, I heard you're single.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because I think not all men, a lot of men right now act like women, and they just want more. Bring back the patriarchy. I want to stay at home. I want to take care of my kids. What do you mean buy you flowers? What do you mean pay for dinner? What do you mean 50-50? What is that? I don't believe in that.
What do you want? What do you believe?
I want a man to take care of me.
So you want to be a housewife?
I want to be a housewife.
Right?
Yeah.
The old traditional way?
Traditional. I'll do it. I don't mind. I'll do it. Okay.
All right, let's say you meet the guy that does all that. Like, he's willing to take you in, and you basically be the woman to take care of everything.
Yeah.
Now, does he got complete control over you? Like saying like, all right, delete your Instagram. You can't be dressing all slutty out on the streets.
Here's my thing. I'm not gonna be dressing all slutty and like having Instagram. If I found the one and he gives me everything I need, he doesn't even have to ask me for that. I already did it.
Delete it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Without him even having to ask.
What about he wants stuff every time?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. 100%. 100%. If he provides for me, he's a good husband. He's loyal. Everything. He's good to our kids. What more could you ask for in a man? That's what I need. I need a provider.
What if he wants to slap you one time?
Okay, that's crazy.
Okay.
Men are humans too. They deserve flowers too. They deserve you organizing a dinner or picnic date once in a while. What are you talking about?
Whatever, nigga. I don't need you. I can do shit on my own.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah? Oh, you want to be independent? Like Destiny's Child? All right. Find your own way home, Beyonce.
Whatever. Open the door.
I always think I'm playing right
Open
here.
the fucking door.
Get out of here.
Open the...
Get away from the car.
Are you...
She should have said that after she got home.
Okay, real quick for the ladies. I'm going to describe a regular man for you, and I want you to tell me if you would marry this man.
Okay.
5'8", about 35 to 50K per year. Would you marry that?
Hell no. Hell no. He's below the poverty line. What are you talking about?
The poverty line is actually far less
regular.
than that.
Yes.
What's the poverty line?
The average man in the United States today is about 5'8" and makes somewhere between $35,000 to $50,000 per year.
5'8" is fine, but I don't know about the 35.
Real quick, raise your hands. How many of you guys would marry that man? Raise your hands if you would marry him. Yes or no?
I don't even know any man.
Okay, hold on. So no one at the table would marry this man, right? No. Okay. Congratulations. You and 1,000 other girls plus we've interviewed said the same exact thing. So it goes back to what I said. You said, most girls are gonna get a regular man. No, most girls don't even view regular men as members of society or an option. Most girls want extraordinary men.
It's surprising that these women don't realize a 5'8" man earning $35,000 to $50,000 a year is lowering his standards to date one of those individuals.
Fell for the boss bitch, I could do everything by myself, that hyper independent bullshit. And I'm 31 now, and I still don't have kids. I still don't have a family. I was focused on trying to get after the bag and all this. Yo, what? I'm in a place now in my life where I'm reevaluating everything. My values, my perspectives, what I really want in the future. And what I really want is a family. I feel like social media or just everything around us, society in general, wants to push that the woman is the future. No. The family is the future.
There are so many women that are going to be in this situation because they have been lied to. And there are a lot of men out there that want to have families that have been trying to say this. They have been trying to say that they just want a woman that is loving and caring in nature. They don't care if you're a boss babe. If anything, unfortunately, it might work against you. Now, for this woman, she's come to that realization with plenty of time. I think she's going to find what she wants.
Wow. That brought a tear to see what social media has done to many, particularly the young women. Please all wake up.
It's really interesting to note that, especially within the States, but just in general, the research actually has depicted that women in their 40s is the most unhappiest age group out there. Think about that. The unhappiest age group in all of the world, predominantly, we're talking about the States right now, is women in their 40s. That's 1 in 4 Americans, which is crazy. That's 25% of the population are women in their 40s. And they're the unhappiest group out there. And it's just absolutely scary and it's appalling. And you have to ask yourself, why is that? And at the end of the day, the number one reason why, well, there could be many reasons why, actually. But one of them, as I mentioned beforehand, is it's really all about e-commerce. It's about the pharmaceutical industries. It's about really just making money. It's a multi-million-dollar business for the most part.
A lot of those women seem to struggle with understanding that happiness comes from within. No one is coming to fix, save, or rescue them.
Ow.
She should have known her skinny ass couldn't lift it.
So they all went on a hike. I'm swaddled up in my hammock, and then I heard the men returning without the ladies. And I thought, that's suspicious. That is weird. And it turns out they just got tuckered out early on the hike, and they decided to come back early. So the men made a campfire. They start making their little dinners. I was pretending to be asleep because I didn't want to talk to them. And also, I was curious to hear what they were going to talk about with all the women out of the camp. And I shit you not, these men talked about pooping for 45 minutes. They started a conversation about pooping outside because we were camping. And they were all sharing their different techniques. Some liked to squat. Some liked to find a friendly log. Some of them liked to dig a little hole. And from there, it moved on to the biggest poops they'd ever taken in their life, the most painful poops they'd ever taken. Then they started talking about the kind of poops they got when they drank too much. Then they started talking about the smelliest poops they'd ever taken in the most public places. And every single man had their own individual story for each one of these scenarios. They were like going around the campfire sharing each of their stories.
I'm pretty sure that every single man has had this conversation with his group of guy friends. But of course, guys are not going to have this conversation in front of women. So for women that come in after that conversation and they ask the men, oh, what have you guys been doing? What have you been talking about? The men will always say, oh, nothing. But here's the truth, ladies. The guys are not talking about other women. They are just talking about stuff like this.
She eavesdropped and found no evidence of suspicious behavior, but still complained. Most women wildly overestimate how much time men spend talking about them when they're not around.
You say people should date on their level. You're literally in a relationship with a guy who dwarfs your status. You are predatory for pursuing a man more successful than you, more money, more clout, more followers. You said he's got millions of followers across social media. You fucking clout chased him, you predatory clout chaser.
He slid in my DMs.
Okay, if an 18-year-old slides into my DMs, I'm 35, no problem.
It's less creepy than a 30-year-old that's going out of their way to try and slide into 18-year-olds' DMs.
Bro, but there's such a power dynamic in your relationship. So why did you, despite your views of like asymmetry in relationships being predatory or creepy or icky, why did you then choose to be in a relationship with him?
I have a lot of money too.
More than a rapper with 1.2 million followers or whatever?
I won an extremely huge lawsuit.
He's got more status than you.
And it was a red flag. I didn't trust him from the get-go. Him being a rapper? Yeah, kind of was a red flag when we first met.
And here you are in a relationship with him.
Yes, because we connected.
She receives money from a lawsuit, while he earns money from his talent. They are not at the same level.
All right, guys, I had to hop on here with a hot take. I'm sorry if some of you women hate me after this, but here we go. Let's do it. So I just got married about a month ago, and now I keep getting asked when I'm thinking babies are going to come. And I keep replying that babies will come once we are financially stable enough to be a stay-at-home mom. That is literally the reply that I'm getting from everyone. Everyone gasps. Can you believe that in today's society, it is like crazy and awful to want to be a stay-at-home mom and to raise your children? In the great words of Ben Shapiro, I do not understand for the life of me why we are telling women that their best and greatest superpower of creating human beings from their own body is less important than working. Personally, I don't think work is more important than raising the future generation of the children that you brought into this world from your own body and to bring them up into society. I'm not saying that you can't choose whether or not you want to work or be a stay-at-home mom. If you want to work while being a mom, all the power to you. However, what I am saying is do not belittle the women that want to be a stay-at-home mom. This is what I hate about modern day radical feminism. If you are going to indoctrinate women into believing that work is more important than spending time with their own children, I don't understand. Can someone please explain that to me? What I will say is that there is not one single person that has been on their deathbed and said, I wish I worked another day in my life. In fact, majority of people say that they wish that they spent more time with their family and the ones that they loved. Sorry if you guys hate me now after this. I guess you can say I'm anti-feminism, I'm anti-feminist, but I am pro-woman, so sorry if you hate me.
How Feminism Fails Women, Part 2. I've seen feminism be extremely disingenuous when talking about women's issues. They say that we don't have the same rights as men. I would like to hear one right that women don't have that men do. People will often bring up the wage gap, and yes, the wage gap is true to an extent. Overall, women make less than men in America. It is not because of some massive conspiracy that the patriarchy is scheming behind our backs. When all studies are taken into account, women are shown to make about 99 cents to the man's dollar. And that is within the margin of error. A few of the factors that I'm referencing are that women don't demand raises as frequently. Women tend to work less hours. Women go into different fields than men that tend to pay less. And then people will say to me, it's the patriarchy that's causing women to go into these fields. Have you ever just thought that men and women have different interests? Women tend to be a lot more nurturing and caring, which is why a lot more women go into things like teaching. Women are more creative and are better communicators than men, which is why we go into fields like advertising or communications. Men are better at analytical things, which is why there's more engineers. And that's not the patriarchy, that is...
They're not regretting, they're just pissed that they have to hold their own, nuts especially in this pandemic time. Thanks for watching MGTOW Voice. Show us your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Support us and help spread awareness for men around the world. We welcome a healthy debate and discussion, so feel free to comment and share your thoughts.